James Holland is a Young Achiever alumni receiving his award in 2021. He has a very impressive CV. Whilst a student, he undertook a 3-month congressional internship in the US House of Reps and also a 3-month internship with the Grattan Institute and received the Ashurst Legal Prize for Top Future Law Leaguer in Australia. After completing his law honours degree at Monash, James worked as a management consultant at Nous Group and engaged in a number of board roles. His current role is as Senior Advisor at the National Association of People with HIV Australia, NAPWA, I think I've got that pronunciation right, Australia's peak non-government organisation representing community-based people living with HIV. James is now based in Sydney and has come to Melbourne today to speak briefly with us on a positive award that the impact that the Young Achievers Award made and the confidence it gave him to take on leadership opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you. And can I just firstly say thank you for having me at this wonderful presentation today. Once again, I have had I really deeply appreciate the opportunities that I've received from the Rotary Club of Melbourne in the last 5 years. I wanted to come to speak today because it's been 5 years since I was awarded the Young Achievers Award in 2021. I was much younger and I had much more hair. And I wanted to spend this time to, as business leaders, give you feedback on why this award has been effective, the way that it has helped me and people like me improve our trajectories in the last 5 years in the medium term. I also wanted to speak about my personal work, which is now in the HIV sector, giving you an overview of the national and overseas HIV patterns, because things are changing rapidly since last 2 years. So firstly, I wanted to speak about the Youth Achievers Award. So on reflection, there are 3 primary benefits of the award for me in the last 5 years. The first one is the award provided encouragement at a key point in my personal and professional trajectory. I was coming out of university, like most people who receive the award. And that point, when life stops having the same structure as what it did during school and university, life can become a little bit more unstable and a little bit more difficult. I was going into becoming a management consultant, which is quite an intense grad role, and quite an intense role when it comes to negative feedback. So what this specific award did for me in that key transition point was it gave me a bit of encouragement. It gave me a bit of sense that what I was doing was on the right path, and that people who did not know me thought that I had potential, which is sometimes all you really need to get to the next stage, particularly when all the other feedback you're getting from your employer, your managers is constructive. So that was a key thing that helped me in that point of my journey. The second thing that was really impactful about the Youth Achievers Award was how it has equalized opportunity for people who don't have the same opportunities in even the very wonderful state of Victoria growing up. So I grew up in Sunshine. My very good friend, Joseph Alcala, who I've known for many, many years, lives in St. Albans. Billy Chen, I believe, also lives in the western suburbs. Yes, we all met each other through Western Chances, which is an organization that provides scholarships for future leaders coming from the western suburbs of Melbourne. What really strikes me looking through the alumni book of previous winners is how many of them come from the places that have often been written off as being the poor people, I remember the number of times I've been like scum shine, white trash, things like that were punctuated through when we were growing up. It wasn't being imposed on us from other people. It was something that we were telling each other when we were growing up. And that mindset is hard to get out of when that's all you know. What this award does specifically for people like us is it shows that what we're doing resonates outside of our small echo chamber. It resonates with the people that are business leaders. It resonates with people that are leaders of community, leaders of politics. And that is really encouraging because it's sometimes hard to know when it feels like you're just serving your community and serving the people around you, whether that is the sort of thing that will resonate more widely. So that's very deeply appreciated and a really important aspect of the award. And the third aspect of the Youth Achievers Award, which I thought was really important for my personal trajectory, was how it provided an incentive for me as quite a motivated, precocious, 20, 21-year-old to channel my energy into community activities, into community building, into work that benefited other people. I reflect a lot upon Rutger Bergman is a Dutch historian. He has a book called Moral Ambition. Quite a fascinating book. I really recommend that you read it. His reflection is that too many people that are young, that are enthusiastic, that are motivated, immediately go into jobs that could be described as very well paid, but not very impactful when it comes to community support. And his point is that if we had more community initiatives pushing people to go into jobs that are focused on community and focused on building up people in the community, then that would have a more outsized effect and impact of the people that are young. And what this award has done for me is that it has encouraged me to think about what the people need me to do in my local communities and my local networks, which then brings me to HIV and people with HIV in Australia and internationally. It's something that I felt quite passionate to do because of my, as a gay man. And what has been very interesting in the last couple of years in the international context of HIV is that governments around the world have removed funding from places that have needed it. So in Australia, our HIV epidemic and our national response to HIV is going exceptionally well. It's a lot of the last year for me has been developing research to try to understand the metrics that we need to use to understand who isn't getting medication. It's going that well. We're having to develop new metrics to find people who need support, which is an incredibly encouraging thing to be happening. Countries in our region aren't so lucky at the moment. So if you look at a place like Fiji, which is a regional neighbor, in 2024, there was 1,583 new cases of HIV. And that trajectory is getting higher. So in the first half of 2025, there was 1,226 cases, which is a steep increase. I know the Rotary Club of Melbourne spends a lot of time working with Timor-Leste. Based on the small amount of surveillance that we have there, there was 93 new cases in a very small population. The reason why this is important is because a lot of these cases are in people that are quite young, so adolescents that don't know whether they have HIV, and also children under 5. In these countries that we do have surveillance in the Pacific region, there's sometimes up to like 1,200% in the last 5 years when it comes to transmission. And there's definitely a need for philanthropy to fill some of the gap that is being left by programs like PEPFAR in the US being cut, USAID being cut. And I would encourage you to continue talking about that in your business networks. But to finish off, I wanted to thank Marg, Cass, Joseph for all your outstanding work in the creating and keeping the Youth Achievers Award going. And thank you everyone for having me back.